Alright, boys and girls, Benjamin Bokcho here, back with another F123 ranked online video. Today we got two races for you. Here we are at Qatar. Now, I extended in my quali laps, so we ended up starting at the back. We're not last place, I think we're second to last out of the 10 or so drivers here. So 9, I guess. We're starting P8 on the medium tires. The only other driver on mediums is the pole sitter. So right off the bat, not a great start to the race, but we end up catching one or two guys by the time we get into turn 1 here. Oh, my apologies. There's another guy on the medium. So we're up to P6 now, and we're kind of just going a little bit tentative around this first sector here just because we really don't know what everybody's pace is at. And I think according to the quality times, some of these guys were well off the pace. I think we were only about a tenth or two off of the pole sitter. But we extended, so we end up getting DSQ. Now going into the hairpin there, again going in very conservatively, still sitting behind the Campito here. The driver behind Mr. Quantum F kind of makes himself known in the rearview mirror quite a few times as well, so don't really know if this setup is working for us or not, as we're really not taking these corners all that great. I think the time trial setup is like 50-39, and I believe we're running 47-37 or 47-36. Now Miss Thirsty Dogger goes off there. We're up to P5 now, and we've made up 4 positions since the beginning of the race, so it's still looking good. The pole sitter is starting to pull out ahead a little bit. P2 starting to pull out ahead a little bit as well, but they're still within view. Now we skip to lap number 2 now, and these two are battling in front of us, Shay the Tiger and Campito. And as we come into this left-hander here, we just outbrake ourselves, lose the back end, and we end up dropping a position. So not a great corner for us there. But we didn't fall down too far, still P6. Now start of lap number 4, end of lap number 3, start of lap number 4, DRS has been enabled. And we're checking our straight line speed here. So I'm gonna try and go down the inside and hope to God one of them or all 3 of them crash each other out, because they're so close. And Campito goes into Shay the Tiger there, and we make up another position. I was wishing for more than one car to go off there, but one is enough for us. Now we're up to P5, still behind Campito here. Not really that difficult to sit behind him. He's starting to lose touch with Mr. Quantum F in front of him as well. So we've only got 20% battery, but I think we have the straight line speed here, so we're going to try and make a move. Go a little bit wide there to try and prioritize the exit. Campito goes out way too wide. And I don't know what happened. I think he must just quit or something, because he just stops off the track there. And we are up to P4. Now, pole sitter is way ahead. He is the second green dot in the yellow sector there. We catch up to CEO of Poverty in P3. Doesn't take us too long. It's only lap number 5. Again, we're on the medium tires. They're on the softs. The softs are starting to go off a little bit. I think they'll be jumping in about lap 7. Again, we take another wide final corner there to try and get a better exit, stay out of the dirty air, and we do get the run on him. Now we're just making sure he's not in the way, and as soon as it turns white, we move over to the left to open up turn 1, and we make the move stick. So now we are in P3, starting from P8, not too bad. And again, doesn't take us too long to catch up to Mr. Quantum F. But look at the leader, how far away he is now, because we've been stuck behind these slower cars. The Plums 9171, almost 10 seconds ahead of us at this point, and we are halfway through the race now. So I mean, it's been a good race so far, moving up through the grid, but that's not the gap that I want to see. Now P1, P2 jump into the pits. I know I have the pace on Mr. Quantum, so we're just going to stay out an extra lap here and hope to God that we can get an overcut. So at the end of lap number 6, lap number 7, we came in, and Mr. Quantum is the first white dot, and as we exit the pit lane here, it seems we have made the overcut work, and we are about 1.5, 2 seconds in front of Mr. Quantum now, and we're still 9 seconds behind the Plums, who has just set the fastest lap on hard tires. Now, I thought he might have made a mistake and forgot to change over his tire strategy, but I think he might have just been like, let me see if I can finish this race on the hard compound tires. So we come back and set the fastest lap on the next lap, and we're just gonna try and see if we can cut down the gap. Now it started at almost 10 seconds, we're down to about 7 seconds here, and there's only 4 laps left to go. I thought I may still have a chance during the race here to catch up to him, but at the end of the next lap, the gap's still at 5.5 seconds, and we've only got 3 laps left to go. So we put in a good fight there, moved all the way up from P8 to P2 on the podium, and we managed to show that had we started at the front of the grid, I think we probably could have given the Plums a run for his money there. Although, again, it's hard to tell because his second stint was on the hard compound tires. But it's not like he was pulling ahead on the hards or even keeping up with us on the hards. I think he was pretty much running at the pace that the hard tires would have allowed him to run at. So it would have been nice to see what that battle would have looked like if we didn't extend the track extended in quali, but we managed to move up to P2, so not too bad of a race there, and we end up dumping 14 seconds on P3, so really good race. And this is not what I like to see at the end of the race here. All these incidents exceeding track limits, but hey, that's F123 for you, right? Ranked racing is just kind of a joke. All right, so second race here at France. We qualified P2. Don't know how that happened, as I didn't feel comfortable in the quali lap, and the car did not feel great in quali. And so I decided to start on the softs to see if we can get better grip than everybody else. Now I see Paul Citroen started on the mediums, and I'm just looking to see what everybody else is starting on. Now, even though this is one of my favorite tracks, I don't really do much running here at France, so not super comfortable here because I haven't done any races other than like 1 or 2 ranked races quite a few weeks back. Everybody else in the top 5 on mediums, so I was hoping we'd get a good start here. I think we had a better reaction time than the pole sitter, but he gets a better second half of the start, and we've pulled alongside, but he's on the inside, so nothing we can really do there. Now, yeah, the car just did not feel all that great. The wings are only 2 clicks lower on the front and rear compared to time trials, and I have to apologize to everybody behind me because I don't know what was going on here. The drivers behind are starting to hit us. Could they have done a little bit better? Yeah, but when the guy who qualified P2 is starting the race on softs, they probably expected me to take those corners better, so I apologize to the people behind. I just don't know what to tell you. Just could not get this car to feel good. The steering wheel felt super light and super like bouncy. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but instead of like a very hard and consistent force feedback feel in the wheel, it felt super bouncy, and I just couldn't really get control of the car during the race. Now Joker has moved up to P3, and he is breathing down our neck again. This left-hander here, just don't know what's going on. I can't get the car to turn in. And so as we come into the last few corners, Joker again right up our gearbox, and we get hit from behind there. Yeah, again, I don't know. We weren't really doing the best to get through the corner there, but I do wish more people would stop racing like they were running a hot lap and there's no cars ahead of them. I'm sure that was partly my fault, partly his fault there, so can't get too upset. But we moved down to P8, and Turkish Delight moves B. Hopkins out of the way for us there, so we move up another position. Now Turkish Delight has caught up to Greg Diablo, and we are up to P7 now. DRS has been enabled, and I thought maybe the move with B. Hopkins was just a racing incident. They were wheel to wheel in turn 1, but then you see this right-hander here, Turkish Delight just pushes him off track. So I was like, all right, we're dealing with an asshole here who just drives people off track. So he moves up to P5, and we are stuck behind these two guys here. Now Bobo is the white dot, about to make it down the start-finish straight now. He's got a bit of a gap to Jock in P2, and I think the guy that hit us may have quit because of wing damage. So again, apologies if it was my fault. I don't know. I didn't look at the replay. But yeah, Bobo's got a bit of a lead now in P1, and there's a bit of a gap between the two cars ahead of us and the first group of three. So now I need to kind of start making some moves because I don't want to be falling too far back. The good thing is we don't really have anybody threatening us from behind, as B. Hopkins has fallen back almost 4 seconds since we passed him. So Greg not really taking these corners all that great. We come up right behind him, get DRS, use a little bit of overtake there. Wasn't really looking to make a move here, but halfway down the straight, I was just like, we're way too quick, and I don't want to be stuck going to wheel, so we just get on the overtake and move down the inside and get the move done. Luckily, Greg doesn't fight too hard, and we make it out of that clean and without any damage. Now, we caught up to Turkish Delight, the bowling ball of the French Grand Prix. Now, his light's still flashing. We're right up behind him now, and I was like, I hope this guy doesn't drive us off track. I know what to watch out for, and I'm gonna be very, very careful. So he doesn't get a great exit out there either. We're already catching up to him. Now look at this. He moves left and then moves right again, and I was like, what the fuck? You fucking idiot. You've done that to every driver you've overtaken this race. So in the race, I was so angry. I hate drivers like that. So I was like, all right, man, I'll remember that. Now we get our pit stops done. We're still in P5. Turkish Delight somehow manages to keep up with us. We are low on battery. The car's not feeling all that great. And looky, he's about to get DRS. So I'm like, oh, okay. We're going to move over to the left and give you a little heart attack as well. So no harm, no foul. He did it to us. We did it to him. I think all's fair. And we both make it out of that nice and clean. So lap number 8 now. We're down P6. Not looking all that great for us. I think Bobo and Jock has caught up to Bobo. And they are now fighting, and because of what he just did, I decided to sneak my nose down the inside there. Now, I knew that wasn't ever going to work, but I just wanted to scare him a bit anyway. Lap number 9 now, and we are still right behind Turkish Delight. Now he moves over to the left nice and early, and look at that, he can race cleanly. Wow, he moves left and he stays left. Okay, I was not expecting that, but we get the move done. And we have caught up to Leaf James, who seems to be having some issues as well. So connection's not all that great. He's kind of ghosting around the track, and he's not really hitting his apexes all that great. So we're going to set up a move on him as well. And the leaders are still battling right here going into the final few corners. And we're going to try and make a move on Leaf James here as well, and see if we can get up to P4. So again, not really all that great of a race, but we did manage to move up the grid, so it's good enough for me, I guess. And Bobo sets the fastest lap, and then we try and make a move on Leaf James here on the start-finish straight. His light is flashing. He moves over to the right, gives us the inside. He doesn't bother fighting, but then he makes a little move to the left there. I don't know, could have just been desync again, not quite sure, but it scared the shit out of us, as you saw. I jerked the wheel over to the left really quick to avoid him, but we make the move stick up to P4 now. Joao Pedro, whose name I feel like I've said a bunch of times in these videos. I don't know, this might be like the 20th time we raced against him. Joao Pedro 4.5 seconds ahead. We've got 3.5 laps left to go. Now, even though we were stuck behind those slow drivers, Joao wasn't really pulling that far ahead, so I thought, hey, we might still have a chance here to pull off a podium position if we can manage to gain maybe 1.2, 1.1 seconds per lap. But that's asking a lot, to have 3 laps that are 1.1 seconds faster than the car ahead of you. So We move up to the final lap, and Bobo and Jock in the lead. Got into it somehow. I didn't see what happened, but Jock is now a good couple seconds ahead, and we are 1.2 seconds behind Joao Pedro. Want to get within DRS here, but I didn't want to blow all my battery as we're only down to 20%. So Joao not taking these corners all that great. Can we make it to the DRS detection zone under second? We do. We sneak under a second for maybe 1 or 2 seconds right as we cross the line. Now it's not going to help us catch up to Joao Pedro, but at least we don't have to burn battery to stick with him here. So going into this chicane, can't tell how well he took that as there was a bit of lag, but we do make up some time now, 9/10 behind Joao, and I'm not sure what's going on with Bobo. I don't know if he's got damage or if he just ran out of fuel or something, but he is bleeding time, and we're still sticking at about 1 second here. If we can get close enough to Joao on the final corner, we might be able to use DRS and overtake to try and get ahead of him. But as we go into this left-hander, I think he gets a little too greedy on throttle, goes off track, avoids the wall, but he loses the position, and we manage to get out in front of him. So from P2 to P8, back up to P3. Not too bad of a day. I don't think we would have won the race anyway. The car did not feel great, and the two drivers around us seem to have better pace on us, even though they were on the mediums and we were on the soft. So yeah, I don't know what happened with this French Grand Prix here. The wheel felt super bouncy for some reason. Didn't have enough grip. Felt like couldn't get on traction. Maybe I have to revisit this setup, but man, it did not feel that great. And once again, looking at the incidents, all these track extension warnings. I hope F124 actually has some goddamn rules in that game. But that's it for us anyway. If you feel like I've earned it, feel free to leave a like, comment, or subscribe. Stay tuned for more. Remember to eat a bok choy, and I'll see you all in the next one.